I told someone the other day, I was like, yeah, Carl's Jr. is pretty good. And they were like, excuse me? And I said, yeah, it's good. And they were like, no. Blakely, I would never go to Carl's Jr.
Did you say to them, have you ever been?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because that was me. I totally judged Carl's Jr. The only time I went...
judged it too.
Yeah. The only time I went was in Texas. And I was like, meh, whatever. And then I forgot about it. And then Sean suggested going, and it changed my life.
Yeah. Because I didn't care for Carl's Jr.
Save this for my food episode.
I know. I was like,
I could write it down. Write it down. No, I'm joking.
Carl's Jr.
Yeah, no, Sean put me on that sandwich, the breakfast sandwich with the hash brown. Period. It's so good.
Burger. That one? The one with the tots on it?
Yeah. Was it tots? Yeah, there was.
Oh.
So good.
All I know is that McDonald's came out with this like hash brown omelet thing, and I look at it and I want to barf.
Oh.
Is that recent?
Yeah.
Is it at McDonald's in Utah?
I don't know, but I saw a video of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
He's
like,
I want it now.
Right. Hold on.
I really struggle with McDonald's hash browns.
Me too.
I think they're
I don't
really
like 'em.
bad.
Oh,
Okay,
me too!
Love
Yes,
we gotta talk about this.
we gotta talk about something else.
Sorry. Good topic, Blakely. But
Coming at ya 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Spoiler.
Be prepared. Anyways, hi Bitzes. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. My name is Noné.
I'm Cooper. I'm Sean.
I'm Blakely.
And this is the Fake Bitzes podcast. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Period, Cooper. Hash browner.
From in. Back up.
Yeah.
Ramen.
Rack up.
Yeah.
I totally forgot we were
Nicki
doing
Minaj? Is that you? Speaking of music, the topic that I wanted to talk about today is K-pop. Because K-pop literally means so much to me. I feel like I'm pretty well versed in K-pop. I've only been a fan for a few years. Started in 2019. I've only heard a few K-pop songs before that. Before me, did y'all listen to any K-pop music?
Yeah.
But like very minimal. It's because I lived in Hawaii and I had international friends.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I would drive, they would be like, "Can I play this song?" And so that's how I knew it, but I didn't know it.
Okay,
So,
I see.
Very fake fan over here.
Oh, that's okay. On brand.
Your fake bits.
Yes.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, Biddy. What about, you were singing?
Yeah, only a couple songs like Blakely.
But it wasn't like something that you...
Yeah, I specifically To Anyone.
You listened to them first?
That's the first one I listened to, yeah.
Bruh, that's literally one of the first, like, songs I've heard. But this was before, like, I actually started standing K-pop. Because I didn't start, like, loving K-pop until 2019.
Uh-huh.
And I just started listening to, like, oh, this song's good before then. But now I'm curious, what is the first K-pop songs you guys added to your playlist? That you can remember?
Probably. So I wrote down a list because I knew you were going to ask this, Noné.
Oh my gosh, am I that predictable?
No. Because I was thinking, I was like, before Noné, what would I consider like my K-pop background?
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote down like groups / people that I know, and it literally probably the first song that I ever added was Gangnam Style by Psy. PSY, is that how you say it?
Yes. Wow.
So that's probably the first thing ever. And then BTS and then Blackpink. That was probably like the extent of my library.
Yeah, you know, the thing, I feel like, okay, Psy was definitely like an introduction because everybody, like, it just went viral and nobody really knew what it was. Mm-hmm. But I feel like for new K-pop stans in like America or new listeners, Blackpink and BTS are like the only ones they know. So like, I'm not trying to hate on them and please don't come for me. But like, I feel like Blackpink and BTS, they're great, they're amazing, they're talented, they make way more money than me. But I feel like there's just better K-pop groups out there. Vocally, and I would say all around there are just way better K-pop groups. But that doesn't take away from Blackpink. So
Right.
No,
please,
that's in every industry. I feel like there's like big names that can be a lot of the time overrated.
Mm-hmm.
They're great for what they are, but there's also other people that deserve more credit than they get.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah, but what is y'all's first?
Yeah, I think you introduced K-pop to me for sure. I didn't know that Psy counted. I definitely knew it, but I don't think I ever had him on my playlist. It just was always playing for whatever year that was, 2012, I think.
A little later than that.
Well, I think it was 2012 because I went to...
No, you're right. Because there's a Facebook video of me dancing to
Oh my goodness!
my senior year, which is 2013.
There's a Facebook
Bruh.
video of everyone dancing to it. That was
Bruh.
like a rite of passage for
Insert
us.
clip. No, I'm kidding. Right here, Blakely.
It's so bad. I was camping, and it's like the last day of camping, so I'm like all dirty, and it's nasty.
Yeah, well, not to one-up you or anything, but 2012, the reason I knew this is because that was the year I went to India, and we stopped in Seoul, Korea. And so all of us...
You went to Korea?
We didn't leave the airport.
Oh, okay.
But, so... Still
jealous.
And so, like, in the airport, we're all listening and dancing to Gangnam Style.
Oh my goodness. What was that for?
The service trip that I went on.
I see.
Yeah. Why not? YouthMakingADifference.org. Check it out.
Plug it.
Oh, yes. So, besides Gangnam Style, when you started liking K-pop, what was the first... You said 21, right? That was one of the first?
To anyone?
Uh-huh.
Falling in love.
Yes.
And mine came from you, and it was What Is Love by Twice.
Oh my gosh, yes! Twice is my alt.
I love that music video.
It's so cute, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So cute. That's what really won me over, I think.
Yeah. What about you?
When
When you started liking K-pop, or like, I started playing more.
Probably Sweet Juice, Purple Kiss.
That one is so underrated, and I feel like that's one of the groups who I feel like are better than Blackpink and BTS. Well, actually, BTS, I feel like they do hold their own a little bit. Blackpink, they just come with like a comeback like every 4 years. Like 2 songs every 4 years. And then you have people like Twice who like release music like every other month. And like K-pop, honestly, it has like became so competitive that they're releasing music after music, pre-releases after pre-releases, like music videos after music videos, because they have to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Especially with all the dances and everything, choreo.
I don't know how they do it, honestly.
They're
And
like, right after they finish one, they're probably go right into having to practice for another one or something.
yes, no, during the end of their
gosh.
promotions, they'll start working on their next one.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and sometimes groups like have like 2, maybe 3 like comebacks working at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
And I feel bad for them because I do love them, but I feel like they don't get any rest.
Okay, that brings in a couple questions for me, not to derail you or anything. But so you're saying that Sweet Juice comes out with a big one every 4 years? Is that what you said?
Blackpink.
Oh, Blackpink.
Mm-hmm.
And so you also told me that their contracts, when they expire, they go off to different places. Does the band remain, and it just gets filled with new singers and new dancers?
No. There are some groups that like replace members. There is like one group like. Their name is Black Swan. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I like their last comeback. A comeback is like a next, like,
I was just going to ask you.
There's just like so many terminologies that K-pop stans use. Bias, alt, comeback, debut. Everybody knows debut. But yeah, and let me just go back real quick. Not 4 years, like every 2 years, Blackpink would have a comeback.
Because I was going to say their contracts are what, every 5 years? Or
7
years?
7, yeah. But sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, so it was just you answered it. Do they replace people, or is it just that Blackpink has stayed together, and so that's how they've been able to keep that up?
Oh yeah, no. I would say people in lower companies, because there's like a big three company, like who have the best K-pop groups or the most popular K-pop groups. There's 4 now because BTS really like made their company huge because they started from the bottom, which is why I like respect BTS. I'm not into K-pop boy groups, but yeah, like for the lower companies, they do replace K-pop members. Like in Black Swan, they've replaced everybody, and they used to be called Rania. So like sometimes it's the same people, but they'll debut under a different name. But then yeah, they do replace people if they're not as popular. But there are some people who get kicked out of like popular groups, and that's because of like bullying scandals and like
bullying each other.
It could be like somebody from high school or middle school, and they like say on the internet, "Oh yeah, Sujin was like mad at me," or like she smoked cigarettes and she like was mean to me. And she got kicked out of the group.
So cancel culture does affect K-pop.
I think,
industry.
Yeah, I feel like their entire culture, not Korean culture, but like stan culture is really toxic.
Wow.
Yeah, because not only do they have to worry about their image. Well, let's talk about the image first. Like, kids who are like 14, 15 get plastic surgery. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even in Korea, they just have to like put a picture of on their resume, a picture of themselves, like, because they judge you based off your appearance.
Oh, for a job other than the K-pop industry, just any job.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
A lot of cultures do that. No, not even just like Asian or Korean, which I guess is Asian, but like sometimes I get resumes at work and I see pictures on there, and so that's not like an American thing to put your picture on a resume.
Yeah.
So I think that's very interesting that it's based off appearance rather than how qualified you are.
Which is another point. I'm so glad you brought that up. I feel like in America, we look more for the talent. In Korea, they look more for the visual. And so, like, just when it comes down, dancing is great. Like, they all can dance well. But when it comes to, like, singing, I feel like they're nowhere near, like, the American like standards or other. I'll just say American. I'm American, but a lot of the voices do sound strained without like auto-tuned, and they all, I would say, is. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, I think I can see that for sure. It's like when they do live performances, a lot of them are just lip syncing, and then no one's really like been vocally impressive except Hwasa.
Oh my goodness, you know her name? Yeah. K-pop stan over here.
Yeah. Okay, you keep saying stan. What is stan?
It's like a really big fan.
Yeah, you've never heard that?
No, I've never heard of that.
American culture.
Did it come from K-pop?
No.
Do you want to know where it came from?
Yes.
I learned this from TikTok. It's and it was two people in an interview. I'm trying to remember what interview it was, and obviously famous person was like, Stan, is that supposed to be from like Eminem's song?
Oh, dear Stan.
And I guess they confirmed on that. So I guess per them, that's the origination of Stan for fans, for like crazy fans.
That makes sense.
Or really intense.
I feel like it's two words. I remember seeing that interview, and it's two words put together that make Stan. I can't remember what they are though. If you know, put it in the comments.
Right, comment below.
Play this game.
Right.
No.
Also, sorry, while we're on this topic, I always say bias a lot, and I know Blakely was always confused about it. Are you still confused about it?
Oh, no. I know what it is now.
Yeah, bias just means like favorite. Like favorite person, somebody you're most drawn to.
While we're on that subject, you also said ult before?
Yeah.
What's that?
Like your ultimate. Like, who's your ultimate, like...
Of all the groups,
yeah.
This is my ult.
So, like, Twice is my ultimate group. And, like, my ultimate idol is in that group. And it's crazy. When I first started liking Twice, I did not like her. She was, like, at the bottom of my list. But, like, she just, like... As the years went by and I see how well she, like, progressed, it was just, like... she deserves to be an idol.
And tell us who this is.
Jihyo.
You heard it here first.
Jihyo, please sponsor me. Okay, I
wanted to say sorry real quick. Bias wrecker is, back to the lingo, bias wrecker is someone that is like, are they my favorite? Like, are they making me question my bias?
That's part, yes. Bias wrecker. Which is, I feel like Jihyo started as my bias wrecker.
Oh.
Yeah, she just wrecked everybody in Twice for me. I love Twice. Please don't come for me. The stands are crazy, y'all. So, be careful what you say. Just kidding. Do you guys find anything weird about K-pop?
Yes.
I will start. Oh, sorry. Yes.
No, I think we all want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, okay. I just feel like they are debuting minors, which is just like kids are debuting at 14, 13.
Okay, you say that. Well, what? Sorry, playing devil's advocate here. What's the difference between that and someone like Justin Bieber, who debuted really young? Why? Is it wrong? Like, sorry to put you on the spot.
No, not at all. I just feel like it is when Justin Bieber did debut, it was like not as vulgar. Okay, but K-pop isn't vulgar. Like, they're squeaky clean. But if you like break down lyrics or some of the things that they do, I do feel like it's inappropriate.
But like even some of the like choreography and like the things that they wear are a little more provocative.
Yeah. And like as a 30-year-old, I just feel like weird because I do like some K-pop groups who have minors in them, and I just feel weird just like, oh, that's a kid. Like, just liking them.
Well, it's because they're acting very mature. Like, they're not acting like a 14-year-old. Well, I know that Justin Bieber you could say the same thing about him, but at the same time, it was like he was a teeny bopper, right? Is that what you would call him? Back in his baby days.
Like I'm talking to my mom.
Yeah, it didn't sound right coming out, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that's what makes me uncomfortable about any minors in the spotlight is that the industry like is so suggestive towards like sexualizing them and making them more grown up than they are, and I think that we're seeing those repercussions in this generation coming up. All these 14-year-olds that look like they're in high school, like we looked in high school. They look older than us than we looked in high school. And, they're doing kind of the suggestive TikTok dances and wearing suggestive clothing where that wasn't really a thing for us at that age. So, yeah, I see what you're saying, how Justin Bieber could be compared. And I think, the industry that he was in exposed him to a lot of things that he regrets and that he wasn't ready for. And I think that I'm sure K-pop has similar problems in their industry.
I do feel like back then, because they did they did debut minors, K-pop in like the older generations. But I just feel like the standards were so different back then. Because if you look back at it, everybody has a voice now. Everybody like shares like, okay, this was wrong, and like we're just unlearning a lot of things. And I feel like I did unlearn a lot of things that was normalized back then. So definitely, I just feel weird with minors. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I get that, and that kind of goes with what I was going to say when you asked me what I find weird about K-pop. It's not so much, I don't know if weird is the right word. It's just, it's different. It almost feels a little bit stereotypical, and it's the themes in their music videos. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying, the music videos are what won me over to K-pop, but I feel like so many of the themes are, they're wild and they're vibrant and they're sometimes a little bit childish while at the same time being sexual.
Yeah.
And that's a weird juxtaposition to see, and something that, it can make people uncomfortable, but if they do it right, then it's also like that's really fun and cute, and like I like what they did there. So yeah, I'd say that. And then I think there's also elements of anime in the music videos as well, which isn't necessarily a weird thing for me, which is why I said that wasn't the best word to describe it. It's just like something that sets them apart.
From like American pop?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you guys find anything weird?
Well,
Sorry. Are you speaking Korean over there? No, I'm kidding.
no, sometimes I get really excited to like share things and I get tongue-tied or ask or whatever. But I was doing some preparation for this because I really have like no K-pop knowledge and I was like, I don't want to seem stupid. But someone said they said South Korean performers who spend years in grueling studio systems. So I was like thinking, okay, are you born into this industry or are you bred into this industry? Like, how does it start? You know, because you're saying that they're so young. Because like usually in America, you're found, right? Like someone, you go on a talent show or you go here, you go there.
YouTube,
but like,
you get discovered.
Justin Bieber, YouTube, right? And so it's just like how if they spend years like in studio systems, are they like signing up for this and like this is what they want to do, or are they found? Like, how does it work?
So there are some idols who audition and there's some idols who are scouted. But let's just start with, I would say the best thing is like to start with is like the contracts, because the contracts are like, they call it death contracts because they like take majority of your childhood. My alt bias in Twice, Jihyo, you all remember, she trained for 10 years before she debuted. She started training when she was like 6, maybe 7, and she debuted when she was like 16, 17.
So is it kind of like how moms or parents sign kids up for dance class when they're like 4 years old? Is that kind of the same thing where they're signing them up for this and then they're training until they debut?
So
it's okay if you don't know the answer to my question.
Oh no, not at all.
I know I'm asking.
No, it's a difficult question just because there's so many different instances, right? Of people.
It's not difficult because I have the answer.
Don't doubt.
I'm sorry, what was the question again? Sorry.
I have an answer for it. It's just
so similar to how we, sign our kids up for dance class when they're young. Is that what they're doing? K-pop training or band training?
I would say the difference between that and K-pop is when they sign. Okay, you have to make it into the company before you can even start training for K-pop. Okay. But you can start training in dance, and you could use it like when you go to LA, New York, Rockettes. You can always do something there and put your training to use. But there are some people who like train for like their entire 10 years or however long they trained, and they don't even debut. So like they just go back to like their normal lives, and they like wasted their childhood. They like skipped out on education just to like train. So I do feel like it is different from, because they wouldn't be able to use that like their K-pop training anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah. And I would say like K-pop is like the equivalent to like the Super Bowl out there, because it's just everything is K-pop. Not everything is K-pop. There's K-dramas, but like K-pop's the most popular entertainment source out there.
Interesting. I've also seen stuff about the boys going into the military after.
Yeah. No. So
or during.
They could go during or after they disband. But around 27, like to 30 is like the latest you can go. Somewhere around there. Don't quote me on it. But 30, like BTS, they're on a hiatus right now because some of the members have to serve mandatory military time, and it's like 2 years.
Why only some of them?
Because they're about to age out. So like they like push their military as far back as they can. And with BTS, they were trying to be exempt because they did help a lot with the economy in Korea, and brought a lot of money. So they were trying to get exempt, but all the men have to. All the men have to serve for 2 years. But
that's a very interesting, mandated thing, and it's not exclusive to Korea. I had a Taiwanese roommate in college, and he had served in the military for his 2 years. We talk about that a lot.
He was from Korea?
Taiwan.
Oh, wow.
They do it as well.
I did not know that.
And I think it's 2 years as well.
Yeah, I had a coworker in Taiwan. Same thing.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I just thought the Koreans did it because of North Korea. And they're like really protective around their borders.
I think it's more that, with a smaller population than, say, the U.S., who is often thought of, especially by Americans, for our military, we don't have that draft. We don't have that problem, which is why it was so interesting for me. Shout out to Jared, my roommate, when he would talk about it, because I'm like, there are certain people that are not built for military service. Me. I couldn't do it. That's so hard. And the fact that they're all willing to serve their country is pretty cool.
Yeah. I personally couldn't do it. I feel like it's like serving a mission. Like, if you were Mormon, nothing wrong with it. Don't come for us.
A really extreme mission.
Right. Was there anything that you found weird about K-pop?
I think the slave labor thing.
These are my notes.
I just saw it's what you brought up. The systems.
Yeah, the systems are really weird. And I just feel bad for just the people who like train so hard and they don't debut.
I've seen the videos of the ones that like faint and like are overworked. They're fainting on lives or they're fainting on stage because they're just practicing. They don't have any other life.
Right.
And then to add that, your image part of like, they train to take selfies and like all that stuff is like, oh, I am dancing all the time, choreo to every song, and not just choreo. This is like full synchronized choreo, the entire group, an entire song, an entire set list
to every song.
Every song is like choreographed from beginning to end. Insane. And they memorize that, they learn it, they work it, they're exhausted, but then they still have to put on this like, look perfect and take your trained selfie. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I just don't know how they find the time to train for everything else besides choreo, because they like train for like when they're doing choreography, they just do like every beat that's heard, like they like hit it, they know it. Twice, this is why I'm a stan, is because in concert, they're like performing 27 songs, like one of their world tours, 27 songs, and most of the songs are choreographed too, and they go one from another to another to another, and I'm just like, these girls are in shape, but like, they're exhausted. Just like a few weeks ago, one of the girls fainted, because I don't feel like they have a lot of time to sleep.
No, that's crazy. I was thinking about that. One of the characteristics of K-pop, like what defines something as K-pop, is the intense choreography. And I think it's interesting that they put the word intense in front of it, because it is like that. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, they're a band, right? Or what we consider in America like a boy band, right? Where they have the choreography, the coordinating clothes, and all those things. But they dance to like 5 songs compared to the 27 that they're doing. So it's crazy.
I just want to say that the intensity of the choreography for K-pop is intense. Like Sean was saying, it's so synchronized. It's so perfect. It's also difficult movements. Whereas I feel like, not to bash on American performers, but for the most part with live tours and everything, I feel like they do scale back their dancing. I think maybe Beyonce aside. I feel like most performers put in the vocal energy and sacrifice the dancing. Whereas because K-pop is all right with lip syncing, they are putting all of their energy into the dancing and moving their lips rather than having to have the vocal, what would you call it? The vocal
talent.
Yeah, the
ability.
vocal ability to be able to do both at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad you brought up Beyonce because I feel like she's one of the performers who can sing and dance at the same time.
Yeah.
With K-pop idols, if you like go on YouTube and remove the MR, like they're like
master recording.
Yeah, you would hear how they really sound, and they sound out of breath. What you expect. But because like everything is getting so intense nowadays, there are some groups who are able to pull off the vocals while dancing, and they don't sound like they're like dancing.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, the reason that I'm drawn to K-pop is not the vocals; it's the choreography. That's why I'm like, oh, okay. But then every once in a while, so like I pulled up a K-pop playlist when I got home from work.
You have a playlist?
No, not me.
Oh.
I found one.
Okay.
To like get in the mood. But I was like, I want to see the choreography to these songs. And every once in a while, I was like, oh, that has a good beat. And so I would add it to my playlist. But it's more of like, okay, this is fun. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I really want to listen to this all the time.
Yeah, actually, that is one of the things that drawn me to K-pop was the choreography. Because the music was all right. I actually didn't even understand the music at first. I was like,
You understand it now?
I do.
You understand Korean?
Yeah, or sorry. I meant like, I didn't understand like what the sounds of the K-pop music.
Can you
I wish though. Yeah, but it was definitely the dancing that got me into K-pop. I was just, for y'all who don't know, I like to dance a lot. Sione Maraschino, plug. But yeah, it was the choreography that started me on K-pop. And I would say when I first got into it, that's when I lived in Colorado and Sean came and like visited me. And that's when I started getting into K-pop. Really.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because you showed me so much K-pop.
Yes.
And it's the K-pop that I love. Like Twice and G-Idol.
Yes.
And all those other bands.
Yes. Sorry, do you guys know any K-pop idol groups?
No.
You know some. Come on.
do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what does that mean, K-pop idol?
No,
Or
just
like the
K-pop
groups.
Oh, Twice is the only one that I couldn't think of off the top of my head.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Because they're my ult.
The other one I would have said was Blackpink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Period.
I've actually never, that I know of, I probably heard it, but I've never listened beginning to end a BTS song.
So good.
Except for that one that one of the members broke off and did with Charlie Puth. Is that BTS?
Yeah, he was.
I do know that song.
Yeah, and I like that song.
Yeah, it's a good one.
See it over here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that one?
Okay, that's another thing.
You don't know Butter by BTS?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Like butter.
Like a criminal undercover.
Hey, get it, Blakely.
It sounds familiar.
Blakely TS over here.
It's not good.
It's catchy though. That's why.
I would like say that most of them are so catchy.
Yeah.
It's not that the music is amazing. It's just so catchy.
Yeah.
They've unlocked the formula.
And I feel like the reason why it's so catchy nowadays is because they are trying to appeal to Western audience like America. So
It's working.
yeah. Hearing K-pop when I first started listening to it a lot, I could definitely tell a difference because it used to be like, it just sounded so different.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded so different. Nowadays, they're like using a lot of English like sentences, especially in like one of the last comebacks of like, I forgot which group, but every other line was a English sentence.
Oh,
because
it's the one, oh my gosh.
Just do the choreography. Go ahead.
What is it?
Oh, Love Me Like This?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Oh my gosh,
They like use
it's
a lot
Love Me
of
like this.
They use a lot of English
Who sings that one?
and mix.
I like that
That's
one.
a good
You
one.
do?
Love Me Like That.
They are sorry, side note. They are a younger. They're in the same label as Twice.
Oh.
Yeah, so... And ITZY. All three of them are in the same company.
I see.
Yeah, I see that.
You brought up something that I wrote down a while ago that I want to ask really quick, and it's a lot of the bands have, or groups have, English names. Blackpink, Twice. Do they have Korean names that they go by over in Korea?
So no, they would just say like, they'll just say it with an accent. They'll be like Blackpinku. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, because but honestly, like going back in like just a K-pop history, they've always used English names. Yeah, so I feel like English. That was always their goal.
I find always their goal to get into Western culture. Okay, I find that interesting because you were just saying that it's just been in the recent generations that they've started to use English lyrics and really get popular over here. And I think another big push and help that made them popular over here would be TikTok. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know actually because TikTok definitely helps like everybody with their own music or it makes a trend, but I feel like K-pop was starting to come up before TikTok.
Was there a platform that it was big on?
Just YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, just YouTube, and that's how like I discovered it. So
and that makes sense because we've been talking about the visuals the whole time, the fashion, the music video, the choreography. That makes sense that YouTube would probably be the best place to showcase all of that.
Yeah. There was like another. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep losing my train of thought.
Oh, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're totally fine. I was like trying to piggyback. Sorry. Edit this. Sorry, y'all. What were you just saying?
About
TikTok, YouTube. YouTube's the perfect platform.
And how it came over to Western culture, English lyrics, English names.
That's how you started, was YouTube.
Blackpinko.
Are you Korean? Sorry, y'all. I seriously lost my train of thought. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Another thing that I found really weird in K-pop was the amount of members that a group can have, because I always thought the standard or the most was like 5 people in a group, like Backstreet Boys,
One Direction,
Fifth Harmony. And everything else was like a 4-member group or a 3-member group after that, or before that. But when I started looking at K-pop groups, they have like 7 members, like to 12 members.
Yeah, I just saw a picture and they're like all lined up, and I'm just like, how do you keep track?
Yeah.
That's the biggest one that you've seen.
Like
The biggest group that I know, their name is NCT. They're a boy group under the Big 3 label, and they have like 24 members. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, but they also do like subunits. So they'll be like, okay, we're going to have the Chinese members all debut in a subunit group, and they're going to be called Wavy. And then we're going to have these visual members like debut in a group, but they're all like one group all together. It was just
interesting.
Yeah, I would just like, that's so weird. Like, I never understood it until I realized that K-pop is trying to be well-rounded in a song. They try to have a main dancer, a main vocalist, a main rapper. Yes, okay. Take it away, Sean.
I was just gonna say there's always like a rap verse.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Alexis the other day. Like, I was like, there could be like this cute ballady song, and they'll throw in like, it'll be like Ave Maria, like, you know, and I'm just like, where did this come from? I do feel like not every song needs a rap verse. Like, some are just fine with chorus.
I second that.
Yeah.
And that goes for American music as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, those are the ones that ruin it for me. There's so many times where Sean will show me a song that I should have known, but I just missed a whole decade of music. And I'm like, is there another version of this song without Sean Paul coming in? Like, I just want Nicki. I don't want all this other stuff.
Okay, because Nicki's songs. I mean, that's a lot of Nicki.
Oh, Nicki
She
does a
comes
lot of...
in
Yeah,
rapping.
and she's the best part. That's true.
She is the best part.
I love Nicki.
We're Nicki stands as well. Me and Sean.
We're Barbs.
And lately,
I think we're fake Bitzes. Well, you're probably more than I am. More of a fan than I am.
I would say I'm a fan. And I don't think I'm fake, and I don't think I'm extreme.
Fake Bitz.
fake bits.
Fake Barb.
Sorry.
So you brought up something because you said ballad. So that was one of my questions. I literally said ballads because most of the songs that I listen to are really poppy, whatever. Do they not do a lot of ballads because they're trying to stay catchy?
So what I show y'all is just like my favorite K-pop songs, but K-pop doesn't just mean like the poppy versions, because like they have R&B songs, they have like country sounding songs, they have ballads. Yeah,
What?
My mind is
Country?
blown.
yeah, they have like all kinds of like genres labeled under K-pop.
Right.
But the
Okay.
ones I show y'all is just like the stuff
So it's
that I
like
enjoy.
K-pop country.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's
K-country.
crazy.
Or country with a K. Kardashian.
That's crazy. What does it sound like?
We gotta expand.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Maybe that's what the outro for this episode should be. Is just like a K-pop country song.
yeah. But yeah, they have like all these genres, but those genres aren't as popular as the ones
pop.
that I show you.
Yeah.
K-pop.
I am shocked.
So do they have full-on albums? Because like you were saying, it's kind of like they have a debut release, single after another. Do they have full-on albums?
Yeah.
Okay.
They normally don't debut with albums. They just debut with like a single and a side track, or a B-side, whatever they call it. But then once they get really popular, that's when companies are like, okay, we need to get an album on there, because they want to see the reactions of the people first, because everything is so high pressured over there that they just want to make sure that it's gonna make sales. Everything's money over there.
Money.
When I was like writing down my positives and negatives, I love K-pop, but there was like way more negatives than I had of positives, because there's just behind the scenes is like what I really know, or what I really know about what goes on behind the scenes. I just feel sorry for K-pop idols. Just the pressure, diets, body shaming. Sometimes they're rushed to like debut people, and they're not even ready. But because they look well, one thing. This is probably going to be one of my last points. One thing that I really. Oh wait, did anybody else have a weird thing that you guys wanted to say?
I think we went over them.
Yeah.
Did we? Okay.
Because you have more.
Oh, sorry. I have way more. Sorry. The thing that really gets me with K-pop is that a group can be super popular, and by the end of their contract, they'll be broke. Because all the money, like, from training and, like, being housed while they're training, they have to pay all that back to the company. So if, like, a person is training for, like, 7 years, they have to pay 7 years back. Wow. And that's expensive. So whatever, like, they get at the end is, like, nothing.
That is insane. And they're like, yeah, I'm basically doing this for the fame, spotlight,
right,
and having a name of, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, because you guys know that group EXID. K-popers. Yeah, they like disbanded, and their company went bankrupt. Yeah, so K-pop idols don't make a lot of money unless they're hella popular. If they're hella popular and people buy their stuff and they pay off their debt before their contracts, then they will make more money. Then whatever they make afterwards, they get a big cut of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting and sad because it's like, why are they doing this to themselves, you know? Like, it almost doesn't seem worth it. And I want to know, does South Korea have anything like, where are they now? Kind of like working a desk job or something?
There are some, like this one lady, she went from like a really popular group that was like in like 2014 to like working at a coffee shop.
Oh, wow.
And they were so popular. So like after
the song comes on in the coffee shop and she just remembers all the choreo.
Bruh, she's probably doing it like tips. But yeah, it's really sad, and that's why I just feel like K-pop idols definitely do deserve more. But also, I want to end on a positive note. One thing that I do love about K-pop is just the amount of effort, like all that training was put into like making a music video, making to their stage presence. That's the reason why I love K-pop, and that's the reason why I keep coming back to K-pop, even though I know everything that they're going through is not easy. It's kind of hard, but they are great. Anybody have any final thoughts?
I think I love that because it's true. Like in any industry, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of behind the scenes that we don't see or that we can speculate. Mm-hmm. But it is nice to see like an artist being able to produce things that they're proud of. Mm-hmm. You know, I guess for maybe a K-pop star, it's like they had like the best choreo, the best catchy song. And like in America, it's like I'm not having someone write songs for me. I'm actually able to speak from my heart and produce things that like I actually want the world to hear that is from me. Mm. So it is, I think, and with anybody, right, we're happy to put out work that we're proud of and that we want people to see. So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I definitely think the beauty standards are something that makes me worried for a lot of the girls and maybe the guys too. And it will be interesting to see how K-pop kind of moves forward. And I feel like right now they're going through what the American music industry went through in like maybe 80s, 90s, early 2000s, where, you know, skinny, you know, lots of unhealthy life choices and diets and things because the expectation was to be just super thin. Mm-hmm. And it always surprises me when you're showing us a music video and you say that compared to their beauty standards, this performer is considered overweight, is considered plus size or something. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's so fit. She looks
so thin,
healthy, you know.
They call it KBS, Korean Beauty Standard. It's way too intense. Like, I would not survive over there. They just judge you based off everything. This one girl had acne on her back. She cannot control it. Yeah. And they were going in on her. They're like, why is your skin not perfect? Yeah.
That's too bad. I mean, but that's kind of what I'm saying is like as they get into, you know, you said that they wanted to break into the Western culture. And as they're doing that more and more, I wonder if some of our changing beauty standards and us being a little bit more accepting of plus size people is going to help like fall into their industry as well and open the doors for more people to show themselves.
I'm so glad you brought that up because when they're performing in Korea, they have to perform how they like were choreographed or like, you know, because image is everything. But when they come and tour in America, I feel like they are so free. They just be twerking like they wouldn't twerk in Korea, but they come over here and they're like, "Oh my, shake that no ass, girl, shake it." Yeah, so I do feel like they are definitely we're a lot more open-minded as Americans than they are in Korea.
But we weren't, 10 years ago. So
that's true.
I mean, give it time and hopefully they'll come around as well. Yeah, that's cool.
That's great. Any other final thoughts before I...
No, I feel like we covered everything I had about K-pop. I do enjoy it a lot. And I'm grateful for you bringing us into the fold of K-pop. Except now we need to go and explore this K-pop country.
You're welcome.
R&B.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. I love K-pop. If you guys have never listened to it, try it out. If you don't like it, oh well. But anyways, thank you so much for joining our podcast. We hope that you guys join us next week when we have a different host. So we're not sure who it is, or I'm not sure who it is. But yes, thank you so much. Bitzes out.